Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves, baseball, and the rest of the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Friday, March 13th. We're going to talk, as we always do, we're going to talk some Braves. Briefly, there's not too much going on with the Braves right now. What's really popping off, what's really going on is the World Baseball Classic. The first round of pool play has concluded. That's been wrapped up. We got the quarterfinals starting tonight at 6:30 p.m. Then we got a second game at 8 p.m. And tomorrow we got two more exciting games. We're going to look at those briefly as well. We're going to look at the Chop Seats picks, how those went down for the first round of pool play. Not too, I think I did 50-50. I haven't even looked, honestly, see how I did, but I think it was hit or miss. It was hit or miss, but I think I went 50-50 there when it goes to that. I hit 500 there, I think. We'll see again when we get to the standings and check all that out. But yeah, we got some. That's pretty much the most exciting thing going on right now. It's spring training baseball going on here in the States. Just making sure everybody gets their reps in, making sure nobody gets hurt. That's what you're pretty much keeping an eye on right now. If you're looking at, if you're watching any spring training baseball, keeping up with the news there. But if not, there's some exciting baseball being played, of course, in the World Baseball Classic. That's what I'm keeping an eye on. Pretty sure you guys are as well. So let's break down a little bit of what we got with the Braves. Then we're gonna head into the rest of the league and the World Baseball Classic. So let's start here with our first segment.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we take a look at what's going on with the Atlanta Braves before we get started. Actually, you know what? That for later. I'm gonna save that for later. You know what it is? We're gonna say that for the MLB because I believe it's more fitting for today's episode. Terrible on my behalf because last episode I completely forgot to mention Chris Sale and the Braves had agreed to an extension, a big extension going on here with the ace of the staff. Now you gotta go with Chris Sale being the ace of the staff. Spencer Strider, obviously, he's been hurt. He's taken a step back. But Chris Sale, the way he's pitched with us so far, the dude's a beast. If it wasn't for that freak injury last year, he would have put up some crazy numbers. And listen, Anthopoulos said, I'm not messing around. I got to extend this guy a little bit further. So the extension was a 1 year, $27 million contract. That's through 2027, and that contract also includes a $30 million club option for 2028. So we're gonna get Chris Sale at least for 2 more years, 2026 this year and 2027, with a possible third year. I'm assuming, hopefully, the Braves are able to pick that up in 2028. So that'll be very exciting. It is very exciting to know that Chris Sale is going to be sticking around for the brief future. He's probably going to end up ending his career with the Atlanta Braves from what it looks like. So we'll see. But the guy's still effective. The guy's a dog, man. He's a dog. He's lights out. And we've yet to see him in a Braves postseason appearance, which is a crazy part. That's what he was acquired for. To be able, if you remember, if you think back, he was acquired to face the guys like the Bryce Harpers, the Freddie Freemans, those dangerous lefties, the Kyle Schwarbers in the league. When you face them, you were hoping to face them in the playoffs and get through, get by those guys and get by those teams to be able to make another World Series appearance. It hasn't gone that way since we've signed Chris Sale, unfortunately, but hopefully we're able to at least crack it once in these 3 years that we may possibly have him around. Definitely in the 2 years that we'll have him around. that was very positive news. But then we had some more negative news when it comes to the pitching depth. It was Joey Wentz. He went. He suffered an injury. I think it was about 2 days ago. It was an ACL tear in his right knee on a play. He was trying to cover first base. Sad to see from him. He's. We're not gonna sit here and say the guy is an absolute beast, but he did fill in very nicely last year when we needed some pitching depth. Remember, we got him to come back to Atlanta. I believe he came up in the Brave system. Obviously, was moved away, and he was able to come back. And he filled in fine. I didn't have an issue with him. He filled in fine, and he was gonna do just that. Most likely this season, he was gonna be an essential part of the pitching depth for the Atlanta Braves because remember, we had already dealt with an injury when it comes to Spencer Schwellenbach going down, Hurston Waldrop going down. So he probably was going to get bumped up and have more opportunities when it came to using him effectively in the pitching staff. He was probably going to be maybe the sixth man up when it comes to the the starting rotation, or even coming out the bullpen in long relief, mid relief, whatever you wanted to use him for. He was most likely going to be that guy. But the ACL injury puts a halt into those plans, unfortunately for him. Hopefully a speedy recovery for Joey Wentz. But again, the pitching rotation, the pitching depth takes another L, man. We've been struggling in that department. Struggling very bad in that department. And one of the guys we wanted to sign was Zach Littell. That was a name that was being thrown around. He has signed with the Nationals. It was a 1 year, $7 million deal. It includes a $3 million salary for 2026 and a $4 million buyout on a 2027 mutual option. And I think that's $2.5 million. He can get up to $2.5 million in performance bonuses. So you can, cross his name out the list, Zach Littell, being acquired by the Braves because the Nationals are able to pick him up and improve their pitching depth. And listen, that wasn't even that expensive, bro. Doubtless. You could have made that happen, bro. You could have made that happen. But apparently it is what it is. Apparently it's looking like he's just gonna wait it out till mid-season and see what he does there to improve the pitching depth. It looks like we're gonna go with all the arms we have. Obviously in the majors, and let's see who's gonna step up. He's gonna utilize the guys that we have, and we have a lot of arms. They're not, the highly touted pitching prospects that other teams may have, but we have a lot of arms, and maybe he's gonna piece it together that way. The starting rotation for opening day is projected to be, as I just mentioned before, Chris Sale. He's gonna be the ace, the number one starter. Spencer Strider is going to fill in at the number 2 spot. Reynaldo Lopez coming back from that injury. He should be in the 3 spot. Grant Holmes is projected to be in the 4th spot. And talking about Grant Holmes, yesterday's game, he went no hits allowed in 5 innings, just 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, and 64 pitches thrown. Very good performance by Grant Holmes. Very good to see from him, as he was dealing with some discomfort, some a little bit of injury problems as well. So we'll see how he's performance in spring training. But again, that's good to see from him, a guy that was hurt just a little while ago. So he's showing good signs there. And then the 5th spot is looking like it's going to be Bryce Elder, guys. He has no options remaining. So the thought is that he will be in the major league roster to begin the season. And hey, he's going to be manning that 5th spot. So make sure you get ready on that 5th day, because it might be, it more than likely is going to be the offense, though, this year is able to be back to what they were in 2023, where if you have a bad start from your starting pitcher, you still have a chance to come back and get into the ball game. Hopefully that's what we see this year from the Atlanta Braves offense. And then we got some improvements in the bullpen as well. So hopefully you're able to hold those leads down Obviously, we got Roberto Suarez going to be filling in the setup role. Iglesias is going to be closing. So hopefully we're able to, have a better year than we did last year. So we're going to have to wait and see when it comes to that. We have some moves also. The rosters. This is what went down. James minor league camp. Elisiel Hernandez as well, and Carlos Carrasco Cookie has been reassigned to the minor league camp, and Hayden Harris, he's been optioned to AAA Gwinnett. So just so a few updates there when it comes to the roster, the spring training roster, and James Karinchak, definitely a guy that may be brought up to the majors very quickly, depending on how the bullpen goes to begin the season. Carlos Carrasco, another guy that he's probably going to be making some spot starts here and there, unless he has one of those clauses in the contract where if he doesn't make the team out of spring training, he's able to get released and give it a shot somewhere else with another team. So I'm not sure if he has it in his contract, but two guys that we may be able to see in the majors quicker than we think. Especially James Karinchak. Remember when he was with the Cleveland, I was going to say the old name. I'll say it. When he was with the Cleveland Indians / Guardians, he was very effective in those years, and then he just fell off a little bit. He was pitching back then. Be a good bullpen. Fuentes on the mound, spring training game, he went 3 innings, no hits allowed, 5 Ks. Good to see that from him. That is all we have, I believe, when it comes to the Atlanta Braves. Very quick Tomahawk takes for today's episode. And now we're going to head into our very next segment.
It's time for the MLB.
Welcome to the MLB, where we catch up with the action from around the league. And obviously, I mentioned the Zach Littell signing, so we're not going to touch on that. But there was another extension. It was a Phillies agreeing with Jesus Luzardo on a 5-year, $135 million contract. That includes a $32.5 million club option for 2032. That's the only biggest extension that I saw go down so far between now and the last time that we spoke. But the most exciting thing going on right now around the league that includes, it's not obviously the teams in the league, but you got key players from the teams around the league, and that's the World Baseball Classic. First round of pool play concluded. Let's look at the brackets real quick. Let's look at the teams, that remain so far. Let me take that off in the corner here. Friday, March 13th, that's tonight, 6:30 p.m. You're going to have Korea versus the Dominican Republic. That, again, is at 6:30 p.m. The Dominican Republic team looking insane. Might be the best team they've put on the field as of yet in the tournament. This team is incredible. The offensive stats, I should have pulled them up, but I didn't. But the offensive stats from this team is bananas. I might be able to pull it up real quick. Let's see if I'm able to pull it off. But yeah, these guys are going nuts, man. Everyone's hitting homers. The bullpen is looking great. The starters are doing good. Listen, this team is incredible, and we got to compare. And you know what? I really do wonder if this is the best team that the Dominican Republic has put on paper. Obviously, the 2013 team, they went all the way. They won the whole thing. But I wonder, even if this Dominican team does not win at all, you still kind of got to go with this being the best team they put together, because this team is amazing, man. This team is amazing. I'm just trying to drag here, by the way, while I'm looking for these stats. But Let me see if I am able to get it. But anyways, while we continue to do that, we got the next game tonight at 8 p.m. That's going to be taking place in Houston. It's the USA versus Canada. Puerto Rico is going to be, let me put this link here and let me take this Chop Seat logo off. Tomorrow is going to be Puerto Rico against Italy in Houston at 3 p.m. And then 9 p.m. it's going to be Venezuela versus Japan. So that's all we have here. I cannot get the stats for some reason. I'm trying to get the stats, but I cannot get them. I can't get them. I'll find them at some point. But anyways, that is who is starting. Sorry, not starting, but that is who the games that are going down in the quarterfinal round. And if you're on the video version of this podcast, you're able to see the image provided. Here we go with the starters, though. Let's go with this one. The first game tonight, 6:30 p.m. is going to be Hyunseung Ryu. I'm pretty sure I messed that up. Hyunseung Ryu going up against Christopher Sanchez, the lefty matchup here in game one of the quarterfinals. Christopher Sanchez, very rocky his last start. He was out of control. I think he was too hyped up for the Dominican Republic, and you know, I'm hoping to see him, to slow it down a little bit, start hitting his spots, because he was a little shaky in that first game. Hopefully he's able to, calm his nerves down. Game two tonight is going to be Logan Webb going up against Braves legend Michael Soroka. He's starting for Canada. Let's see how that goes. But my pick is this. DR is going to be facing USA in the next round. That's my pick there. And then we're going to go with the games tomorrow. It's going to be Seth Lugo pitching for Puerto Rico against Algeria. And you got to go Seth Lugo here, I imagine, right? Advantage Seth Lugo. And then you're going to go Venezuela versus Japan, 9 p.m. tomorrow. Ranger Suarez on the mound, the newly acquired lefty from the Boston Red Sox, going up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the righty representing Japan. This is going to be a tough game. It's going to be a very good game. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to go down to the wire, I'm assuming. It's going to go down to the wire. But here are my picks here. I think you got to go Italy. Puerto Rico has done well in the first round, but they're missing a lot of key players. And Italy's just hot, bro. They're drinking them espressos, bro. They're going crazy right now with the espressos. So I think Italy will be whacking Puerto Rico in this quarterfinal matchup. And then Venezuela versus Japan. I would love to see the big upset pulled off by Venezuela, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think Japan is going to take that one, which will give us a Japan-Italy matchup in the next round. I know that's crazy to say. I think that's how it's going to go down. And then this was the pool play. These were the standings. If you're looking at the video version, Pool A in San Juan, it was Canada taking the number one spot, Puerto Rico in the second spot. And I was wrong here, guys. Because I had Puerto Rico and Cuba coming out of this pool. But again, it was Canada and Puerto Rico. Cuba ended up being 2-2, falling just short of heading into the quarterfinals. Colombia and Panama both with a 1-3 record. In Pool B in Houston, it was Italy taking the number one spot, 4-0, perfect performance from them in the first round of pool play. USA finishing 3-1, Mexico 2-2, Great Britain 1-3, and Brazil 0-4. And again, Chop Seat misses with this one because they had Italy nowhere near getting into the quarterfinals and taking the one spot. They came out and took the one spot, guys. I had USA and Mexico advancing here. But again, it was Italy and USA. Italy taking the number one spot. And USA barely made it. And Mark DeRosa was getting beat up over this because he thought they had clinched a spot when they were 2-0, up 2-0. So, yeah, they just thought they had clinched the spot. They didn't really try hard in that third game. And, They were 3-0. They end up losing to Italy. Excuse me. There we go. It's back. But anyways, that was avoided because that would have been terribly embarrassing for USA. But they were able to get some help from Team Italy, which beat Mexico, and was able to help them clinch that spot into the quarterfinals. And then let's look at the other spot, 2 spots in pool play. It was Pool C. That was in Tokyo, Japan, taking the number 1 spot, of course, 4-0. Korea 2-2, Australia 2-2, Chinese Taipei 2-2. It was a 3-way tie for the second place, but it went down to the tiebreaker, and Korea was able to take that one, and Czech Republic 0-4. But listen, Andres Satoria, man, what a performance by him. He held the offense. I think it was 4 1/3 or 4 2/3. He held them to no runs. The Japanese offense, impressive from him. The electrician, or he's not an electrician. He's something else. It has to do with the field. But I saw something earlier and I just blanked out. But listen, not every day you're gonna go pitch to Samurai Japan and not give up a run. I would have gave up 20 bombs, bro. I would have easily gave up 20 bombs. So there's some respect to him. Shout out to him. That was awesome to see from him. But at this round, this round actually was picked correctly by the chop seat. I had Japan and Korea. But listen, Korea barely made it. They barely made it. All Australia had to do was score 1 more run in that final game that they lost against Korea. That would have still helped them get into the quarterfinal round, but they were not able to score that 1 run. And that was how Korea got into the quarterfinal. But again, I had them easily getting in, but Australia put up a fight. They did very well in this first round of pool play, but they just came up just short. So, I mean, Chopsy still gets credit for that one. And then Pool D, Miami. This was the most lit one. I don't care what you say. Dominican Republic taking the number 1 spot, 4-0. Venezuela coming in second spot, 3-1. A classic game there they had in the final game on Wednesday night to decide who was going to be facing Japan, who was going to be facing Korea. A great game. Venezuela came back, was coming back at the end. I was scared, bro. I was like, you know what? Especially when can't think of his name right now, the pitcher, when he threw that ball away to the outfield, I was like, oh yeah, it's done. It's over, man. It's over. But they were still able to get that double play. Machado, starting with Machado, going out to Ketel Marte, throwing out to first Vladdy. Double plays to end the game. But anyways, enough about that game. Israel finishes 2-2. Very good from them. The Netherlands, very disappointing. 1-3 record. And Nicaragua finishes with 0-4. And I don't know, there was a lot of great players that there was a lot of players that had great moments. And this some guys are, gonna get opportunities following this World Baseball Classic and the way that they performed. There was a guy from Nicaragua, Munguia. I believe he was with the Yankees. I liked him up because I like the way the guy plays, man. The guy was playing with some crazy energy, and he was getting on base, bro. He was a scrappy dude, bro. Scrappy dude. I just love the way he played. And again, apparently, if you guys remember, he was with the Yankees and a few other teams in the majors. I just don't recall. I never followed them like that. But, hopefully he's able to get another shot, man. I think I saw that the Blue Jays have picked him up this year. And they're all about contact. So, he might be a good fit there. Put the ball in play and see what happens. But that is what we have when it comes to the World Baseball Classic. Again, I gotta go. Excuse me, I'm messing up over there. I gotta go with my boys. Santo Domingo. I gotta go with my boys, man. Que comienza la fiesta. I gotta go with my boys, man. Beating Korea. USA versus Canada. I think USA is gonna win that one, which is going to give us a Dominican Republic versus USA matchup on Sunday on FS1, 8 p.m. in Miami. Welcome to Miami. And then Monday, it's going to be Italy versus Japan. That's going to be at 8 p.m. on Monday. And then after that, it's going to be the finals championship game. It's going to be the Dominican Republic versus Italy. Dominican Republic versus Italy in the finals. Mark it down. Do whatever you want to do with that information. DR wins their second World Baseball Classic with the best team ever put on the field by the Dominican Republic. Hopefully that's how it goes down, because if not, I'm going to sound absolutely stupid. But that's what we're here for. This is all for fun and games, guys. So anyways, that is all we got. That is all we got. So again, if you want to go, let me take this music off. If you want to go catch any of these games, let me put the image here once again. There it is. There's the image. If you want to catch any of the World Baseball Classic games, the quarterfinals, semifinals, championship game, Dominican Republic, Korea, USA, Canada, Puerto Rico, Italy. Who else we got? Japan, Venezuela. If you want to catch any of those games, go to SeatGeek and use code CHOPSY20, and you're going to save $20 off your first purchase. Si quiere ir a ver un juego del World Baseball Classic, vaya para SeatGeek. Ponga ese código que está ahí abajo, code CHOPSY20, y se van a ahorrar $20 en su primera, ¿cómo se dice? Purchase en SeatGeek. Usen esos $20 para lo que quieran. Use those $20 for whatever you want. Put them in your pocket. Grab yourself a nice drink, a nice, I don't know, a hot dog, anything. But make sure you're saving those $20 using code CHOPSY20. Ya ustedes saben. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Chopsy. That's all we got for today. Let's see how the games go down again tonight. And I'm probably going to be back Sunday. We're going to be back Sunday talking about the semifinal games and then looking into the finals. But let's see if Chopsy can get this round correct 100%. We'll see how I'm able to do there. If this is your first time listening to the show, and another thing, if you do use code CHOPSY, let me know personally in the comments where you're watching this video, because I want to thank you personally. A lot of you guys are using code CHOPSY20, but I don't know who's using it. I can't thank you. I want to thank you personally. So let me know in the comments. If you see this video, if you use the code, let me know, man. Hit me up so I can tell you thank you personally. Anyways, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. I forgot. I think I was talking about, what was I talking about? I don't know what I was talking about. But listen, everything here on my sheet is covered. Everything is covered. The Chop Seat picks are covered. World Baseball Classic pool play concluded. Quarterfinals begin today. Everything's covered, I think. Everything's covered. This is what I was going to say. If you want, this is the first time listening to the show, and you want to follow the show, follow us some more on our social media platforms. Instagram, it's at the Chop Seat Pod. TikTok, Facebook, X, and YouTube, it's at the Chop Seat. Share the show if you love baseball. If you know people that love baseball, you know people that love the Atlanta Braves, but baseball in general, share the show so the show could grow. Share the show so the show could grow. Say that 3 times quickly. Let me know how that goes. Anyways, I'm Vic. I'm your host on the Chop Seat. Thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, we'll see you next time on the Chop Seat.